my food mood friends, welcome to my weekly video. I just got done doing a yoga class. As you can see, my yoga mat is right here. And I want to talk today about the power that yoga has had in my life and how I recommend it to my clients to use as a tool because, yeah, I really love yoga. And before I get into that part of the video, I also want to say it's March 1st.
Welcome! Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
It's Friday afternoon, tomorrow's my birthday, and I would actually normally we actually had scheduled to be at the hot springs because if I think about my birthday and I think it's the time to do exactly what I want, exactly what fills up my cups, the hot springs for me are the place that I just love to be. And luckily my family loves to do the hot water and loves hot springs. So we're gonna go next weekend to the hot springs, to Sierraville Hot Springs, which is one of my favorite hot springs. It's technically in California, but it's on the border between Nevada and California. So it's practically in our backyard, which is amazing. And we're going next weekend instead of this weekend because I'm actually going to be getting on stage tomorrow night. Well, not because I'm getting on stage, but because I'm getting on stage is a last minute thing. My daughter has a big fundraiser for her school, the biggest of the year. And I was totally planning on going. And then they announced it was on my birthday. And I was like, on my birthday? Really? I was like, do I go to the fundraiser? Anyway, I decided that I wanted to go to the fundraiser and postpone my birthday weekend to the following weekend. And I'm actually offering a live auction item, which is my coaching program. And so the school is really excited. It's like one of the biggest amounts that they've ever had donated. And they're a little bit nervous about it selling. And so they want me to get on stage and talk for a minute or two, which being on stage is not really comfortable for me. I love talking. I love listening. And being on stage is scary for me. So I'm going to be practicing some deep breathing to get on stage and not get into a triggered, out of body, stuttering place, which is definitely partly where my brain is going. And I've been talking in front of this camera for 200 and something episodes. And I've been practicing and getting in front of doing classes for small groups of people. And so it's in the flow. So I'm trusting and leaning in and saying yes. And I will be using my yoga techniques of breathing to help me. And given that it's Friday afternoon, I just did a yoga class because yoga is one of my favorite ways to spend time in my body. For me, and actually I want to give you a little bit of a background. I actually have 2 yoga certifications. I, during college, got really into Bikram yoga, really loved this beautiful little studio in San Luis Obispo. Was doing a lot of yoga for several years. Then I decided I want to go to yoga teacher training after I graduated school in graphic design. Got a job teaching Bikram yoga in Long Island, New York, and didn't feel like it was exactly my jam. I felt like I wanted to learn more about the body, and for a few different reasons, I just decided. And much later, I did another yoga teacher training, and ultimately came to a place where I was like, I don't really want to be a yoga teacher, and like yoga is such a beautiful part of my life. And so for me, and actually I want to tell you that there's an amazing online yoga teacher that I totally adore. And if you go to YouTube and you search for Yoga with Adriane.
Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch.
Her energy, her teaching, her classes, she has a ton of free content. And she has been my go-to yoga class for the last year. I think I found her, maybe 2 years. And I just highly recommend her. I recommend her to my clients all the time. She has different lengths of classes, different types of classes. She works with different stages, and her presence and her energy is just so delightful to do a yoga practice with, even though it's in front of a screen. I'd rather be in a live class, but at the moment, it's not my priority to spend 2 hours getting to a yoga class, being in a yoga class, getting home from a yoga class. So yoga with Adriane has been my go-to in my home for the last year, and it's been awesome. And yoga for me, I believe, and this is rusty, so you can fact check me, but I believe that yoga is, the definition of it is the union of body and breath, I believe. It might be body and mind. Someone want to quote me on that and comment which the correct one is. I am definitely rusty. I've actually even thought about creating my own yoga style, because I have just totally taken all of it's like learn the rules and then break the rules, know which rules you're breaking and why. And for me, yoga has just become my own, just like really special practice of being in my body. And since being a mom, I also have not prioritized yoga, but the few times and the few moments that I like spend on my mat, breathing and bringing my mind's attention into my body is just one of the most rewarding, fulfilling, satisfying, reconnecting experiences that I have with myself. For me, being in nature is another really huge one for me, but being on my yoga mat, particularly with my eyes closed and with taking my interoception, my awareness from my brain into my body, feeling my breath, feeling my clothing, feeling my muscles, feeling different parts of me move, and having my mind's attention inside of my body is really a sacred practice for me. It's really, really special. I often recommend to my clients to use yoga as a way to move emotions. It's really, one of the concepts I teach on is like we get issues stuck in our tissues, where in our culture it's really normal to not feel and to kind of suck it up and hold it in. And what happens with those emotions is they get stuck in our body. And yoga is such a great tool to be in our body and breathe, because breath helps move emotions. And so yoga, when I have clients who are kind of having a hard time being in their body, or they're having a hard time accessing their emotions, or having hard time feeling their emotions, yoga is such a great tool to just be with ourself, be with our breath, be with whatever emotions arise. And that presence is just such a powerful shifter, such a powerful tool to go into our human potential, to heal, to be present, to manage our stress. There's so many pieces that are so useful for yoga. So one of the most common obstacles I hear is I don't have time. And I love coaching on time management and figuring out what the priorities are and finding a way to be in relationship with your calendar and your to-do list in a way that creates time. And like these yoga classes, you can do them in 20 minutes. Like I just took a 20-minute yoga class. I searched something like calm stretching or something, and just, it was a beautiful 20 minutes that I spent, which we all have 20 minutes. We can choice. There are priorities, and it's a tool. It's a tool that we have access to, and a choice we can make to be in our body, with ourself, with our breath, with our emotions. And yeah, I just wanted to offer to you as my birthday gift and as my weekly video to recommend this wonderful yoga teacher, Yoga with Adriane, and plant the seeds and the reasons for choosing to spend the time in your body doing yoga. And it can be whatever kind of yoga. I've done, I think, probably every type of yoga. Shadow yoga is actually one of my favorites. I would love to find a local shadow yoga. There's so many great yogas and so many different flavors and so many different teachers that it is a bit of a discovery path of like, what kind of yoga do you like? What kind works better with your body? What teachers do you have locally available or online? So there's a bit of a discovery. If you do one class and you don't like it, I would really recommend at least doing 10 classes and doing not with the same teacher, but with sampling out different vibes, because yeah, it really makes a big difference. And I want to do a short mention of working out, because when I was doing Bikram yoga, and I was often doing doubles, so I was often in a hot room for 3 hours a day doing yoga back in the time when I didn't have a kid and I didn't have a business, and really luxuriating in just doing, being in my body in this extensive amount of time, which I'm sure like wired me and got yoga in my cells in a really profound way. So I know that I have this like really deep like neural pathway of yoga in my body and my brain, which so it makes it easier. Like when we start doing those habits and have them over and over, it's easier to access. So for me, going back into yoga, it's just like coming home. It's not learning. I'm not in a learning space. I did a lot of learning in my 20s with yoga. And I will also say that yesterday I did a HIIT workout. My favorite workout is Shaun T's Insanity. It is such an incredible 30-minute full body efficient workout. And I after the workout, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like sitting straighter. My energy was like, bing. I haven't been working out very much, or not enough for my body. I could feel my body kind of start to get my energy, my physical energy get a little bit low, and directly connected to not working out very much, or as much as my body. Although I was listening to my body, I wasn't feeling well, and I was not ignoring myself. I was actually listening to myself. And I was also yesterday very ready to like get a good sweat in and get a good workout in. So I'm sore. Like I also like, this was like, I chose she has some great power classes and some hot sweaty classes. I chose something really relaxing because I wanted to open my shoulders. My shoulders are sore from my workout. I did a lot of push-ups. My hips and my butt is sore from my workout yesterday. So it was really nice to counter that with some really nice stretching. But there is the big emotional component of yoga, of breathing and being with ourselves, and even noticing where our brain wanders and the things that I think one of the things I really notice with being in relationship to our emotions is giving our brain time to process, or space and time to process things that are going on, big decisions, big conversations. And I find sometimes yoga, that is where my brain is like, working through something, or kind of thinking, or coming to some kind of epiphany, and coming to this useful place of allowing my brain to not be in doing mode. And then kind of, it's like, I like to think about it, it's like the processing space gets to like get cleared. So I'm not just like, I don't have all these things in the back of my brain while I'm trying to do things with the front of my brain. Really, really useful. Yeah, and then just breathing is just so dang, such a powerful tool. I would really like to bring in actually a teacher into my program for breath, because breath just has such a profound use for being in our body, moving emotions. It's I love breath work. Another thing I don't really want to teach, but I really know the power of it and the importance of it. So it's snowing here in Reno, which is just awesome. We're supposed to have a really huge storm here tonight, and I can't wait. I hope that the ski lift is still open tomorrow and we get to go up snowboarding in the Powder. My daughter has, if you've seen the last reel on Instagram, or wherever you're seeing this, she's like, after 50 hours of hand holding, literal hand holding with her, she is snowboarding on her own. And she's never been in a powder day. And I think that powder days are where snowboarding gets really fun, because there's this whole other experience. And before you're able to snowboard, I don't think it's really that great of an idea to be in powder. It's like a whole nother, especially for a small kid. And so I'm really excited for her to have it'll be her first powder experience, and like float and have this. Yeah, I am really excited to have this. And I think that's what we're going to do for my birthday. And then the fundraiser at night, I'm going to speak on stage, do some deep breathing, and have the human experience. So that is my birthday weekend video. I like to have a birthday month. So it's my birthday month, the kickoff video for my birthday month. And yeah, sending you love. Hot springs, yoga, my favorite medicine.